Yeah, 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 yeah. Faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead. I ain't scared, I'm prepared. Big ideas inside my head. I'm gonna make them manifest. And I'm dressed for success. I left, right, order my steps. Network, I ain't gotta do it by myself. Who you know, show me who you know. Better let them know we bout to blow. It's time to go, go, go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go to work, go to work, go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah. Go to work, go to work, go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't tryna trade my time, yeah. Simply wanna show you what I'm worth, yeah. Daily I'ma stay on my ground. Have a little faith and go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm on grind like every day, 'cause I want everything. I can do anything. Check my resume. It's people against you. They see what you've been through. But look in the mirror, tap into your spirit. It's power within you. Like LinkedIn, I'm locked in, get the job done when I clock in. I weighed out my options, put the work in, that's action, no lacking, just stacking. Big dreams I'm attracting, no accidents, that's fate. Just go in and have a little faith. Faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead, I ain't scared, I'm prepared. Big ideas inside my head, I'm gonna make them manifest. And I'm dressed for success. I left, right, order my steps. Network, I ain't gotta do it by myself. Who you know, show me who you know. Better let them know we bout to blow. It's time to go, go, go. Go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah. Go to work, go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't tryna trade my time, yeah. Simply wanna show you what I'm worth, yeah. Daily I'ma stay on my grind, yeah. Have a little faith and go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, now go nuts, go nuts, go nuts, donuts, go nuts, donuts, 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 go nuts, donuts, 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 donuts.
Hey there, I'm Trevor Houston, the creator of the Who You Know Summit, and I'd like to welcome you to the Who You Know Job Networking Show.
On our program, we'd like to show you a job search like you've never seen.
Everything from getting noticed by employers, how to properly format your resume, and how to network effectively using LinkedIn to drive recruiters to your profile.
We even take suggestions from our amazing community.
So if you want to learn all things job search, go ahead and subscribe now.
Focus! It's all about the job search. So if you want to learn how to land that next success, you heard them. All you got to do is subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on a thing. Welcome to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know can make all the difference in your job search.
it definitely can. Let's see who we know online with us. Who do we got?
shout-outs.
I see Derek Smith, John Rebellious, Jason Hopper, 𝐤𝐴 Harvey Castro.
Yeah, who's
say
coming on
Castro.
later? Castro. We
Messed
got
his
Jan
name up
Barlow,
already.
Carla Davey. Hey, Carla. Kayla Curtin.
Cat O'Toole in the house.
Yeah, up in McKinney. Carlos Maroney. Hey, Carlos. Sharon Shepard. All you guys, I see all these comments here praying for Foster.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, guys, we are dedicating this show to Foster Williams today. We're going to start another prayer chain as he fights COVID-19. He's at Baylor Grapevine Hospital. And so we definitely, as much as we're going to pray for the audience, we also want to say a prayer for Foster Williams, the job father. So if everybody can bow your heads with me as we do that. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this beautiful day. I pray that you watch over Foster and keep him safe. Let him know that he is not alone, even though I know in the hospital right now it may feel that way. There's a whole army, a whole community of prayer warriors there, and we are lifting him up. And Lord, I pray that you breathe your breath into his lungs, the breath of life, Lord, and bring him home to us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Dear Heavenly Father, just thank you so much for your love, for your constance, your always being there for us. Lord, I just want to pray over this audience that you would lift them up, that you would provide for them. A lot of the folks have a lot of variables going on, a lot of things that are undecided, and they need your guidance and they need your strength and your encouragement, dear Lord. I just pray that you would be with Foster, that you would lift him up. You are the creator, and that means that you can create, according to your will, the opportunity for Foster that he needs for the medical professionals. I just pray that you would give them guidance, that you would give them discernment and insight as to what the best treatment for Foster is to get him back to us healthy and well. I just pray that you would be with Foster's family as well, that you would just give them sustenance, encouragement, and support, energy to take care of the things that they need to in the background while you're working on Foster. I just pray that you would bless their family, bless the Who You Know family, and all of our audience. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right. Well, I've got some updates. Andy has been in touch with Hannah, Foster's daughter, and so she had sent out an update earlier this morning. But for those of you that hadn't seen that, he has stabilized. His oxygen levels are back up into the mid-90s. So, 95 or above is usually, fairly regular. He's resting a lot, getting the treatment that he needs, but he's got a kind of a secondary infection that he's been fighting. So he's still not out of the woods. He was able to talk to his daughter for a little bit longer this morning, so that's good. He's a little bit more coherent. But again, he's got a long road to recovery. We're going to look at some meal trains and some other support to him as we get closer to him coming home. So stay tuned for that. Stay plugged in. We have just been, blown away by all of your prayers, all of your, support for him. So just, hashtag fighting for Foster, and just that's a good way to follow the updates that are coming forward. Yep.
Absolutely. And I want to say this too. I've been blown away by the impact of the community. Like, gosh, yesterday I put out we did a prayer chain, and man, the community showed up, and I just love that because it shows the impact, right? It just shows the love and support in the community and the impact that Foster has had over, his life, and it's amazing. It really touched me yesterday, and you guys are touching me being here today in support. There's something else that he's going to need. Right, he's not only going to need the medical care and all of that, but significant financial support, right, going through this and during, not just during, but his recovery, but after his recovery, right? So we put together a GoFundMe account for Foster. There is a link up in the description, so make sure you find that link, and if you feel led to, make sure you go support him. Pay it forward, like we always talk about. And I know he would appreciate it, and the whole Who You Know Nation, we appreciate you for showing up and being part of this. So now, with that being said, we do have a lot to be thankful for, grateful for, and a lot to celebrate today as well. Okay, so I want to kind of shift the energy just a little bit, and I know Foster would want that as well. So let's shift the energy. Let's get ready to celebrate some landings.
Yeah.
Who do we got? We got some cash flow.
Get the money gun ready. We got some cash flow.
Who do we got?
Number one, first I want to just give him a shout out because you previously for others have spoke this into existence. You willed it
Yes.
through God's will, certainly. But Luke Whitburn,
Luke
congratulations!
Whitburn,
Luke
woo!
Whitburn was just on the show.
He was on the show last
Congratulations.
week.
Yeah, just
right?
last week. So
And I told him, I said,
you
look,
got it.
I said, you got it, man. You're getting landed. This happening. And sure enough, a week later, same thing with Mike Mediterranean.
Yep.
When he came on, I was like, you
It's-
know what?
It's going to happen.
Hold on.
We need to have people on the show.
Hold on, wait. Is there something to that?
Maybe
Is there something to that?
There might be some magic on the show.
There's some magic. Like they
Yes.
come on the show and then a week later they're landed.
I don't know.
Or could
I
it
don't
maybe
know.
be something to do with visibility? I don't know. Or maybe do I have the magic touch? Is that what it is?
Branding, I don't know. Maybe you're just speaking God's will, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Congrats,
we got some
Luke.
more. Congrats, Luke. Congrats again. We got Kim Morin. We got Katie Mateer. Oh, we've been waiting for that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Woo!
Congratulations. Trish Kirsten. Hopefully I didn't
Congratulations.
butcher that too bad. Kevin Bigelow. Justin Gray. Congrats, Justin. Abigail Bernal. And Barbie Jones. Congratulations. There were many more, but for the sake of time, I'll limit it to that. Thank you all. And also, if you're connecting with these people, they can probably tell you how they got landed. Maybe
Yes.
some things that they did, some
Yes.
things that they didn't do. And then also, if they got hired, there may be opportunity there. That company may still be hiring additional positions. So connect with these people.
Yeah, come on now. We celebrate these landings for a reason, right? It's not just about the cash flow, which is all good. We like to flash around the cash flow. We got them back to their income, but it's also about paying it forward. Literally, pay it forward. Right? Go build a relationship with the decision makers inside the company that you're going to go work for. And now we've got alumni there ready to pay it forward for the next class, the next generation of job seekers coming through. So
I want to talk about asking for help too, because of a lot of us, let pride get in the way. And
Don't do that.
there's no reason that pride should be getting in the way of you asking for help from these individuals, from other network individuals. Like, don't be shy about asking for help. And to that point, I mean, Foster, look at Foster. Foster, he lives alone.
Yeah.
Right? He lives alone, and he got the COVID, and he was trying to fight it on his own, and doing that. And I got the story behind that. David Williams, his son's a doctor, and they were checking on Foster, and they went over there. They had a pulse oximeter, I guess, and they were checking his blood oxygen was very low, and his speech was kind of slurred. So they called 911. They said, "Hey, you got to go in." And he was fighting them. he was fighting them. He was trying to
that's
stay
just like
home.
Foster too. Just like Foster.
Yeah, trying to stay home, but ultimately, he did go, and that's a great thing because he needed the help.
The help. Well, guys, to your point, asking for help. Think about this, guys. When you're lost, okay, if you're lost, the shortest way to get from point A to point Z, to get from A to Z when you're lost, is to pull over and ask for directions. Ask somebody that's already been there.
I thought it was Amazon.
Man, come on, man. With your weak
A
jokes.
to Z, right? A to Z?
No, if you're lost, the easiest way is to pull over and ask someone for directions, right? It's somebody that's been there already. And so these job seekers, you've been through this. You went through the ringer. You know what it's like, and you know what worked, what didn't work. And so I'm just saying, if I'm a job seeker, I'm going to go talk to them, figure out, success leaves clues, right? Success leaves clues. So, anyways.
Mike on that one.
You like that?
Good, yeah.
You like that? Success leaves clues. So, guys, we got to go to a real quick break, but don't go anywhere because, look, we're about to 10X this thing. We'll be right back. We got Jared Yellin when we come back.
I know I had more potential than just breaking my back every day for minimum wage, and I knew that there was a lot more out there for me. I just had to find the opportunity to get that. When working from paycheck to paycheck, one of the things that you worry about most is just, paying the bills. The biggest fear for me would be just not knowing, what the next week was going to hold or the next month was going to hold, not being sure of my future. Stopped working for the company that I was working for, and that's when I found Perscolas. Looking back on it now, I can only just think about the opportunities that I've been given from Perscolas and the people that work with Perscolas. And I wouldn't be here at Turner today if it wasn't for that opportunity. I wouldn't have the confidence that I have today if it wasn't for my opportunity.
everyone, I'm Elizabeth Harms, and this is my first LinkedIn video. I call myself an operations business partner, meaning that I partner with an executive or executive team to direct the internal operations of a company or department, bringing them up to focus on the mission of the organization. I've spent the majority of my career managing people, improving processes, and generally creating calm from chaos. My superpower is connecting people and ideas in innovative ways to creatively resolve issues frequently before anyone else notices they're around the corner. I'm passionate about the employee experience, and I thrive in small to medium-sized, non-manufacturing companies that are fast-moving, focused on growth, and appreciate an entrepreneurial mindset. I'm currently searching for my next leadership opportunity in operations or HR. If you know someone on LinkedIn that you feel I should connect with, please tag them below. Thanks, and have a great day.
Welcome back to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but who you know
can make all the difference in your job search.
It definitely can. Guys, I'm super excited. We've got Jared Yellin, who is the CEO and founder of the 10X Incubator. And with his ability to build teams, create culture, and lead a movement of fellow tech co-founders, he's become most known for his commitment to successfully launch 10,000 tech companies in just 10 years.
10 G's.
And before I bring him up on stage, let me play this short video clip to properly introduce Jared Yellin and the 10X Incubator.
So you think this is the biggest thing I'm going to do in my career?
Listen, I know it's the biggest thing you're doing.
Then let's do it, dude. That's all I need to know. What I want to do for these companies that I know they're suffering from is the promotion.
Yeah, go to market's everything, right?
You know,
I mean, you're the master of it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm just going to blow up these. If the embers are hot, I'm going to turn them into flames, baby. I'm going to turn it into a bonfire. What could I fund right now?
Yeah, right. These are people's visions. You gotta do it right. You gotta build it fast.
And let's call it 10X Incubator.
Cool.
We're looking for your ideas.
Where your formal education was, right? So are you from Indiana?
No, I was so born and raised North New Jersey.
Jersey,
I
okay.
I was in the Kelley School of Business, and that's actually an interesting story too. So the business school is awesome. I really enjoyed the experience there, but I don't enjoy the classroom. Like that's not where I learned. And I had this idea, which was like, how can I graduate, build relationships? Because like you say, it's all about who you know. Correct. With my professors. Because some of them were like rock star entrepreneurs, like previously, but not go to class. Because like I found class like painful. So I was a bodybuilder in college, and I was also a personal trainer. So I thought to myself, if I start a personal training business and I have all my professors hire me, I don't need to go to class because like I have leverage then. And that's what I did. And I literally scaled this personal training business. I had the entire business school. All the professors were hiring me to train them. So in the gym, they were like telling me what I needed to know. And I never went to the classroom. And I literally graduated by doing that. And I built incredible relationships with my professors. Like to this date, some of them are friends, mentors, involved in some of my companies. And it was all because I worked out with them. But yeah, the classroom was just not my thing.
So you're an outside the box thinker, right? Obviously, we can tell.
Yeah, a little bit against the grain.
Yeah, I like that. That's a lot like myself. So let me ask you this. What do you feel like your biggest gift is? And when did you start to really lean into your gift? And when did you start to recognize it?
So if you ask my team this, they're going to say that I can sell and influence. But I always tell them that it actually is deeper than that.
Okay.
So the reason I can sell and influence is because of my actual flame, which is I can simplify complexity. And this is what I've always done as an entrepreneur.
Boom.
One of my tech companies is called 𝐤𝐴𝐵. And the reason I built 𝐤𝐴𝐵 was because I found marketing to be really complicated for the everyday small business owner. So I thought to myself, if I can simplify that complexity, put it in a workflow, the 67-year-old chiropractor could look like a marketing savant if I made it like a straight line for them. So that's literally what the software does. Is it's the simplest marketing software in the world with content inside of it. What we're doing at 10X Incubator is taking this impossible concept, which is I have a tech idea on a napkin. It's impossible. Like, where do you go with that? Like, what do you napkin? Like, you hold on to it for dear life, you put it in your pocket, and then you like die with it because you don't even know what that next step is. And we've simplified the complexity. And we said, hey, we'll co-found that napkin with you. Let's turn it into a tech company. Let's scale it and go for an exit. And we've created a straight line for that whole process. So that truly is my flame. I simplify complexity so that anyone can do it.
Dang, that's man. Hold up, another mic drop for that. Let me, have you ever had a napkin idea, Mark? You ever had like that?
Oh yeah. I've got some ideas. I don't have any non-disclosure agreements though, so I can't tell anybody yet. But
Can I tell you a silly idea? This was a silly idea I had way back in the day. This was like, I don't know, 15 years ago. But I remember being in a pool, right? I'm sitting on my floaty in the pool, okay? And the wind kept blowing me around the pool, right? My drink's over here, I'm like, no, the wind kept blowing me around. So I had an idea. I was like, man, wouldn't that be cool if you could add just like a little motor or something, like a little thing, and maybe you could have it from your phone, and you could drive your own floaty around the pool with your phone.
A little trolling motor,
right? You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
Right?
So, all right, I'll tell you mine. So my wife has had 3 boys. My wife has had 3 boys, and each time, she's got that baby belly. So, and she was always rubbing it, like, just kind of like this. So I was like, there's got to be a way that you could make a kind of like a belly band that had something in it, like a motor or something, that just kind of massaged their belly. Right?
Belly massager. I like that. I would get one of those. Yeah. You don't even got to be pregnant to get that.
Well, you don't have to be pregnant, but
So you should have the face of that company. I like that, man.
You've got branding, sales, marketing, entrepreneurial stuff going on. You've got all these things. And you've got entities in your parent company. What's it about tech, right? That you're focused on? What lights the fire under you for tech?
It's the single greatest way to create impact. Like, that's it. Like, and I've been saying this for years. So I'm a non-tech founder. So there's not one engineering bone in my entire body. I know how to write marketing copy. I know how to sell, but I also know what tech can do. I ran a marketing agency in 2011 and 2012, and we grew to 400 clients. And our clients were kind of the who's who of every industry. So like the top 1% of the industry would hire us, and we became like their megaphone. Like, we created their voice and their brand. And it was a really successful company, but I was helping 400 people. And I'm like, I need to find a way to help 1 million. Like, how do I democratize the agency so that what we're charging 10 grand a month for, we could charge $50 a month for? And that was when I took Synduit and pivoted it into what we called a virtual marketing department, a tech product that has limitless scale. There's over 40,000 businesses right now using this platform. We never could have built an agency to support 40,000. So what lights my fire is it's the impact, the volume of the impact, the fact that I believe every inefficiency in the world is solved with a really solid tech idea that is executed upon.
Well, I love that. I mean, and you're so right, because look at the most successful companies. I mean, like you said, Amazon earlier. You were saying Amazon, and they're all tech companies, right?
To get to scale, you've got to have tech involved.
I love how so you recently partnered up with Grant Cardone, and I was watching the video, and I was watching you guys sit down, and the interaction just made me laugh. Because if you know Grant, and you know his personality and all that, right? And you told him his real estate portfolio was cute. It was cute. Talk to me about that interaction, because I thought that was so funny. Tell me about that.
There's more to that. They cut out, and I know you just recently interviewed Elena, so you'll actually like this part. So when we were talking, I'm like, listen, Grant, like, the real estate thing you got going on is cute. Like, tech is sexy, and I got a question for you. Did you marry Elena because she was cute or sexy? He's like, all right, dude, we're doing the deal.
That's how you closed him. That's awesome.
Okay. but really, the interaction it's been so fun for me. So like, I knew that when I met Grant that he would want to do a deal. Like there was like zero doubt. I'm like, this is exactly what he's going to want to do, because I know he wants to get involved in tech, and I know that there's no one better in the world for him to do this with than me and our team, like just based on the volume of what we're doing and how we're doing it. What I really wanted to assess was, who is Grant? Like, I know like the world has this perception of Grant, right? Like he's an incredible showman and promoter and salesman, but I'm like, who is he as a leader to his 150 person team? Like, who is he as a husband to Elena? And who is he as a father to his daughters? Like, that's what I cared about. Like, I didn't care about all the other stuff. That stuff I knew. I wanted to know who he was. And we met for hours, and we talked about like everything but business. So we talked about our values and our desire for creating an even playing field and our force for good. And it was really interesting when we were probably about an hour into the conversation. He said to me, Jared, do you realize the seat you're sitting in? People spend $100,000 to sit in that seat with me. And when they sit in that seat, like, they tell me they're coming for advice, but they're trying to do a deal with me. And I almost just never do a deal with them. I just give them the advice that I thought they were coming for. And I know you don't have a deal in front of you right now, but if you did, I would sign it on the spot. But since you don't, shake my hand, and my hand is stronger than any operating agreement we'll ever sign. And I just knew it was right. I mean, we spent hours, our values are aligned, our vision of what this become is aligned, the role that he wants to play is aligned, and he's really fun to work with. I mean, I'm crazy. My team's always like, you just don't stop. Like it's like idea, execute. But now it's like him and I doing it together, and like people are like, you gotta slow down. I'm like, no, we are 10xing our speed. So let's do this.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the incubator. Like, so you've got this 10X, this incubator. It's for businesses, for ideas and things like that. Can you tell us a little bit more about your vision for that?
Yeah. So I in April of 2020 is when I woke up one day and I realized I'm officially obsolete at 𝐤𝐴𝐬, which was my original company. And that's like every entrepreneur's dream, right? So I was really happy about that outcome. But it came at an interesting point in my life, because I'm 36. I have a 4-year-old, almost a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old, happily married. 𝐤𝐴𝐬's created a great life for us. And I feel like I have so much life left and like so much energy. And I realized like this was my moonshot moment. Like this was the time to do something that would either shake the world up, or I would go down trying. And as I was thinking this way, I realized that what I felt called to do was do what I just did with 𝐤𝐴𝐬 over the past handful of years, but with 10,000 companies, 10,000 ideas. And I don't know why that number came up, right? That's a ridiculous number, but that's what a moonshot is, right? Like,
yeah.
It makes me feel uncomfortable. So I called up my CTO from 𝐤𝐴𝐬, and I said, I got something I want to do with you, Monty. And he said, what's up? And I said, let's launch 10,000 tech companies in 10 years. Are you in? And his exact words were, I'm in because it's you, but I have no idea what you're talking about. So I said, okay, let me explain. And so I said to him, we're going to launch a tech incubator, but this is not going to be like every other incubator or accelerator where we invest a little money and then offer a ton of mentorship. Listen, that's awesome. That's just not this. What this is a place for people to come with their tech ideas that are on a napkin, or a tech idea in a pitch deck, or a tech idea that's a minimum viable product, or even a cash flowing tech company that has plateaued, and they can pitch us on it. And when they pitch us, there's 4 things we look for: the person, the idea, the competition, and how quickly can we scale. And if that is all positively validated, we will co-found a company with that person or people. We'll both take equity in the company, so our values are completely aligned. And then we build the entire company at cost. Man. Software development, go-to-market, sales, customer support, legal, fundraising, financing. And here's the key. In 2017, I set up a company in India. So we started hiring pretty aggressively in India. The talent in India when it comes to tech is unmatched. I mean, the most committed people, extraordinary skill set, and obviously the price works really well to keep costs low. And I set up this company in India because I had about a dozen contractors on my team, and I knew if I employed them, they'd have a better life. And I knew that I could also scale the company. So we now have hundreds of engineers that are in India. So when we build these tech companies, we're deploying our team, our employees in India at cost. So it's a fraction of the cost, which reduces the risk to almost nothing. And then we are involved, building the brand, building the voice, building the story.
Man, you get me excited. Hold up. You got me over here. I don't know nothing about tech either. I'm like excited. I'm like, yeah, I need to get a napkin. I need to, where's my napkin?
Where's my idea?
I need to put that idea. I'm going to submit it tonight. I'm submitting my idea for the, what do you call it? What am I going to call it? What's the name of the floaty with the propeller on there? I don't know. Look, I'm going to submit it, and we're going to get that thing going. Let's go. Dude, that is awesome, man. Well, I'm going to tell you, I love your energy and your passion for it. I'm kind of like that first guy that you said you talked to, because we had a conversation about it, and I was like, when you first told me, kind of what was going on, I didn't really understand it either, right? And I feel like the more I talk to you, and the more I start to understand it, and the more it really just excites me. Mm-hmm. I've got a question for you that I was able to ask Grant, I was able to ask Elena, and now I want to ask you, okay? So when it comes to building an empire, so you're building a tech empire, okay? When it comes to building your empire, what do you feel is more important? What you know, right? The knowledge, the skills, what's up here, or who you know, the people, the network, the connections. What do you feel like is more important, more valuable?
There's really there is no second place. It's all who you know. I mean, everything I've ever done is because of who I know. Synduit is over 40,000 users, and I've spent $0 running Facebook ads because I don't like Mark Zuckerberg, so I don't want to pay that dude. So instead what I did was I just leveraged relationships, all who I know, because if you know the right people, you can leverage their knowledge, their skills, their abilities. You don't need to have that knowledge, skill, and ability. And what it does is it just creates rapid expansion. The reason that this Grant relationship is so interesting is because I teach this exercise to all of our co-founders. Get really clear on what you want, and then figure out who has the keys to the kingdom of what you want. And instead of circumnavigating them, it's going to cost you time and money. Find a way to partner with them, create a win-win outcome. It's all about who you know.
Yes. Woo! You are so right about that. And for job seekers listening, it's the same thing for you. You need to do the exact same thing. Figure out who has what you want. Be super clear about what you want, and go get it. Go network. Go connect with those folks and go get it. And you got to be bold sometimes, and sometimes you got to ask.
And this doesn't always come right away, but it will follow, right? Mm-hmm. It will follow.
And relationship building and what we do, it takes time. So sometimes don't expect the first time you meet somebody for them to give you the keys of the kingdom, like you were saying. Don't expect them to just let you in their house and eat out of their refrigerator, the first time you meet them. I feel like that's a problem with people when they're networking. They always feel like they should just...
Well, it's that I want it now kind of results and generation and mentality. I think it's not just a generation, it's generational across the board. I think that people are so results oriented that if they don't get results, it's just not worth their time, which brings me to one of our next questions, which was one of your challenges, right? What are some of the challenges? What's your biggest challenge that you faced getting this vision started?
Yeah, so initially it was like, how do we scale this team? I mean, like, we're not launching like tech products where when we're finished, we're done, right? Like, these are tech companies. So like, there's no done. Like, it's like when we launched what we call the minimum viable product, like that's just starting the process. Like, that team is staying on forever. So there's no like turning the team off or putting them onto another venture. So we are just perpetually hiring. So that has and will always be our single greatest challenge and also opportunity. So we have built in India specifically an entire HR, like, it's more than a team. It's like a force of nature. I've trained them on influence skills so they go out and literally influence people to join us because this is a better career path for them. We have recruited people that have left Facebook, Amazon, and Uber that were in India, and they've left these like gigantic stable companies because they were a number there. They're a CTO or a lead engineer here. So this is a volume game of hiring. We will have eventually thousands and thousands of team members. But when I first had this moonshot, like, that was what I wanted. I'm like, I want to build the most powerful organization in tech, whether they are direct employees, whether they're joint venture partners, whether they're advisors to our companies or investors. But the key is this. They need to be change makers. They need to really want to make a difference. Like, yes, they have to want to make a lot of money too. That's important. But they have to also really want to make a difference to enter into this ecosystem. But yeah, the challenge is just finding the greatest talent in the world.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, we might be able to work on that together, man. I'm just saying, I mean, like, you got to need to hire, right? I mean, we got to need to get hired in this show. Like, we got to get these people back to work.
It's a Who You Know job networking show.
Yeah. So I think like we could probably make that work. Let me ask you this question. So paint the picture for the audience a little bit. They're going to come work for you, 10X Incubator. What's that culture like, right? And yeah, tell us about the culture and maybe a few positions that you've got open, ready, available. Like you're like, hey, I'm ready to fill this thing today. Like what are some roles that you're looking to fill right now?
Yeah, so we are always looking for talent. So one of the things that this minute we're looking to fill account manager roles, which is a really cool because these are people that will run 5 tech companies. They're going to be particularly involved, and they're going to go on the journey with them. So like they're not ever stopping until those companies sell, and then we add a new one in to their mini portfolio. And what's cool about it is they're going deep. They're going to learn about go-to-market. They're going to learn about product. They're going to learn about scale, business development. So it's a really great learning experience. Their skill set is just hyper organization, holding people accountable, ensuring co-founders are doing what they say they're going to do. The culture is off the charts though, man. I mean, literally what we have done here is we've created an ecosystem where everyone's an entrepreneur. So we always say this is the best of all worlds because being an employee has benefits, right? There's the stability, there's the benefits, but there's also the potential of a glass ceiling. Being an entrepreneur has a lot of risk, right? There's no benefits. There's no like guaranteed salary, but it has limitless upside potential. We've just built an ecosystem where you have it all. The stability of being an employee, but the limitless upside potential of being an entrepreneur. We tell everybody, like we have one rule: never ask for permission. Just do it. Like just do it. You can ask questions, you can ask for advice, but never ask for permission. Just do it. Just try, and we'll never hold anybody back. So if you want to come in here and like scale and oversee a whole portfolio of companies, like then just do it. Don't ask. So that's what our culture is.
Dang, so it's a little bit like Nike, you know. Just do it. Just do it. Just get out there and do it. This is not an endorsement for Nike, but I'm just saying. No, that's awesome, man. I like it. You get me excited. So okay, let me ask you this. You said account managers. I'm sure you got a tons of other opportunities that are.
Yeah, we got digital marketers, writers, designers. We have people on the biz dev side.
Where do they go to connect with all those opportunities? Is there a certain site or a landing page that they can connect with? Or do I just need to send them all to your website or to your LinkedIn? What do I need to do?
Yeah, listen, if you want to stand out, do that. I mean that. Like find a way to stand out. But 10xincubator.com/hiring. Okay. And you'll see opportunities. There's a general application there too. So if you don't see a specific role, fill it out. We have hired dozens of people that just applied and we're like, oh, they're just a good person. We'll find something for them to do here. So yeah. 10xincubator.com/hiring.
And Who You Know Nation, okay, we had Elena on the show last week and she gave us kind of a little inside information about when you're doing this to send in a little video to go along with it, and you should be pretty good at that, Who You Know Nation, because we teach you that. So yeah, I want you to send along a video with it. I'm sure it will be received well, Jared, right?
Listen, if you don't, we're not going to consider it, man. We need stand out. Like this is one of the things I tell my team all the time. Like in ARC, we have a big team now. Like stand out. Like don't stand out by pushing others down. Like stand out just by shining, right? Just stand out by doing what others don't think to do. Having 100% personal responsibility. Just stand out. For any of you job seekers out there, take 100% personal responsibility to get the attention of what you ultimately want. It's up to you. Like 100% personal responsibility.
Amen. If you don't stand out, you're not going to stand up.
Ooh! Did you just do a mic drop, Mark? Was that a mic drop?
If you don't stand out, you're not going to get to stand up.
Wow. Man, this has been awesome, Jared. I wish we had more time, man, but I'm sure this won't be the last we see of Jared around the Who You Know Nation for sure. Man, I'm really excited for you. I'm excited for all of the growth and all the opportunities, and also
I'm excited to hear more about the incubator and how far that goes.
Yeah, well, I also want to throw this out before we switch gears. You have a giveaway to the audience, which is a landing page. It's 10xyourtechidea.com/whoyouknow, right? And if anybody has a tech idea, right, you want to submit that. You want to do a quick plug for that and how that works?
Yeah, sure. So head over to www.10, so 10xyourtechidea.com/whoyouknow. And when you're there, there's a free application. Submit it. I mean, go really deep on it. Record a video of yourself. Like stand out because we get thousands of applicants. Okay. So like find a way to stand out with your idea. What we look for is this. We want someone that has clarity around their idea. We want an idea that solves a big enough problem in the world, But ultimately, what we look for with a co-founder is someone that we can shine a spotlight on and they can handle it. So whether it's Grant or me or someone on our team, we're going to spotlight you. Like, we're going to build awareness around you. We're going to make introductions for you. We just need you to be able to handle it. And if you can't, but you have the desire to, you'll get training. And if you can't, that's okay. We just need to find somebody to partner with you so that you can handle the spotlight. But head over there, submit your idea. Listen, I know you're looking for a job, but what's even more exciting than that is launching a tech company. So this might be the reason you're employed right now.
There you go.
That you can become a tech founder with us. So we invite you to join us.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Woo!
All right.
We're gonna really get some cash flow for these job seekers, man.
Yeah.
That's woo.
Might be the next A to Z.
Jared, thank you again. We really appreciate you, man. I will talk to you soon.
Yeah,
Hopefully
thanks,
we can
Jared.
get some of these Who You Knows over there with the 10X Nation. Guys, we got to go to a real quick break, but don't go anywhere because we got more cash flow coming soon. We've got Harvey Castro when we come back.
Harvey Castro.
You know you have something unique to offer your next employer, whether it's your experience or your work ethic or your passion or your personality. But how do you stand out from the crowd when you're stuck sending plain text emails that lack personality, lack humanity, and worst of all, look like every other email in the inbox? Job seekers just like you are discovering how easy it is to put their humanity back into their communication and back into their job search with BombBomb Video. Visit bombbomb.com to start a free trial today and rehumanize your job search.
Hey guys, Ken Lehman here. Wanted to share briefly with you my experience in job searching. And it is all about who you know and using video that I believe I landed a position working for Amazon Web Services and heading up part of their AWS technical support team.
I attended the Career Transition Summit and got a few new tips that really helped and energized me. And now I have an offer letter.
And I wanted to share with you my experience with joining the Who You Know show. I was really in a slump looking for my next career. And when I joined the Who You Know show, I found it to be very inspiring, very outgoing, lots of fun, and inspirational.
Welcome back to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know?
Who you know?
Dr. Harvey Castro.
Who you know can make all the difference in your job search. Guys, we're super excited. Our next guest today, Harvey Castro. He's an emergency room physician and healthcare leader who thrives on motivating teams by providing the most technologically advanced healthcare services to local and outlying communities throughout the state of Texas. And before we bring him on, I want to play a real quick clip. If we can go and then roll that for me.
So what is success? The definition of success varies from one person to the other. But for me, success comes in two flavors. Number one, am I helping others? Number two, am I spending quality time with my family? For some, success means starting a new business, being a better parent, being a better spouse. For others, means that you're reinventing yourself to do something new. Whatever it is that you're looking for, my book will help you find success.
All right, Who You Know Nation, everybody welcome Harvey Castro.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming.
This is awesome, man. I'm excited you're here, and I'm looking, and I was taking a look before the show and seeing that you've been featured on like CBS, Fox, ABC, NBC, and the list goes on and on and on. And you've written a book about this stuff. What do you feel like is your secret weapon to success, and especially in your industry, which I feel can be a little chaotic?
Yeah, good question. I think I have a strong why, and I think when you find that why that pushes you, you know, in the middle of the night when you're tired and you don't want to study anymore, or in the middle of the night you want to give up on your idea, but you look back at your why and you're like, you know what, I'm doing this because of X or Y. And I think in healthcare, you know, I felt like I was working and giving my heart out to patients, but I felt like the system was like, hey, hurry up, you got the next patient, you got to get in, get out. And I was like, that's not why I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor to take care of somebody, give them compassion. And I feel that's what's lost now in healthcare. I feel like compassion is just pushed to like, hey, we got COVID, keep your mask off, keep your distance, in and out. And I feel like we need to change that.
Dang, so it was like transactional. Well, you just reminded me of the auto industry with selling cars. When I was selling cars, that reminded me of like...
You're just like, in and out. Yeah, but you go to the doctor nowadays, I mean, think about that. If you think about your last doctor's visit, like you go in, they get you all situated and everything, the doctor comes in and is like, what's going on, boom, 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 and then he's back out.
Yeah,
he's back out.
Yeah.
So you get like 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah, if that. Yeah. If that. Actually probably lasts more like 4 minutes in the ER, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to wait in the waiting room for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then you go from the big waiting room to the small waiting room.
Yeah.
That's right.
And in the ER, then the curtained off room.
Yes.
You're waiting there for an hour. So, yeah. You've been like just building. Like you started out, you've built businesses. I mean, you've got your degrees. You said you just recently got your MBA. Congratulations
thank
on
you.
that.
I appreciate it.
Take that study correlation there, studying and all that. But what's next? Like, you've written your book, you've gone through that, and you mentioned that you're actually looking to do new things now.
You know, I feel blessed that having that skill set of a doctor and also that MBA, I can bring a lot to the table. So now what I'm doing is focusing more on different healthcare facilities. So different companies are calling me like, hey, would you mind giving us a talk to our doctors, talk to our C-suite people to help us bring us to the next level, because I think a lot of healthcare systems are noticing, you know what, we're becoming really cold and we don't mean to, you know, we're just busy, and there's a lot of burnout. So I'm also spending a lot of time with doctors because they're just burnt out from, obviously with COVID, they're seeing more patients than ever and they're being paid less. And so my job now is seeing what niche is out there. So I'm no longer with Trusted. That was a company I actually started because of what I said. There was literally, I was a doctor at the time and working in the ER, and I was like, you know what, they keep rushing me. I said, what if I start my own system? And that system was Trusted Healthcare. And we grew up to about 8 ERs, and people just loved it. And then at that point, I said, you know what, we're great. This is a good thing that I've done, but I want to do more. And my next goal, fast forward 5-10 years, is actually want to run for Congress. So I want to do this like national.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
Yeah. There we go. Hey, so I got a question for you. You know, given the circumstances, you know, Foster, you know, he can't be here today. He's in the hospital and things like that, fighting with COVID, and you obviously get to see a lot of the behind the scenes, and I see a lot of stuff on the news, and you don't know what to believe. I don't in what we're seeing out there. I don't know what to believe. What are your thoughts on this climate and, you know, all that good stuff when it comes to COVID? And
you know, it's a really tough question, because people that I saw healthy, took the vaccine, did amazing. All of a sudden, now I know that they passed away, and I'm like, how did this healthy person die? Yet I've seen other patients that have a bunch of comorbidities, diabetes, hypertension, overweight, and they get COVID and they manage to survive. And so I'm really scared in the sense that long term, I agree. I don't know what's going to happen with the vaccine. I don't know. A lot of scientists don't know. And so where I'm at personally, I make sure that I'm watching my body. I make sure I get my sleep. I'm taking my vitamins. I've done research on what vitamins work best, which ones I should stay on. And then when I start feeling sick, since I know the symptoms somewhat, I know it's kind of vague out there, but you know your body. And so when I hit that point, then I go get tested, get the test, and I jump on medicine right away because I'm scared to wait. Unfortunately, like Foster was trying to tough it and let his immune system, and that's what we're taught as kids. Hey, let your body fight this.
That's me. That's totally me.
Yeah.
100%. I'm like, doctor, sorry, bro, I love you and all, but I'm like, no.
No, I agree. I agree with that. And growing up in a Hispanic culture, it's the same way. I was given herbs and all sorts of stuff to cure things. Exactly.
Okay.
Hey, duct tape for a wart. That'll work. But stuff like this, but it works. But the problem is nowadays there's so much unknown, especially with COVID, that I want to make sure that people out there just jump on this. You know, and there's nothing wrong with taking some vitamin C, zinc, taking care of yourself. Believe it or not, if you don't sleep, your immune system is going to go down. So why not make sure you sleep? On the eating, make sure you do eat well. You know, it's all going to boost your immune system. These are simple things that we can all do.
So sleeping is
Believe
good.
It or not,
Is good for you.
It is. It will increase your immune system.
That's why I don't get sick. I like my sleep. I love me some sleep.
I love sleep.
You know,
myself.
I was asleep by about 7:45 last night.
Oh man!
I know that's early, right?
Yeah.
But I get up early too, and you know, so I was tired when I got home after I had a long day, and I was tired, and so I went to sleep at 7:45 last night.
Nice.
Just saying. Anyway,
so like fast forward to your new vision, right? And being a physician, maybe it's been a little bit different. Actually, I take that back because you were kind of a hybrid. You're a physician, but you're also a business owner.
Correct.
What are your views on LinkedIn, the importance of LinkedIn and networking?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think the more and more we stick to old ways, the more you're going to be stuck in the past. The new way is now LinkedIn. When people ask me for my CV, it's not, they ask me for what's my LinkedIn profile. And I take it to the next level. They want to see my reputation. They want to see how many followers I have. They want to see what I've done. Is the quality that I'm putting out on LinkedIn quality, or is it mediocre? Believe it or not, some of the other companies that have approached me have said, hey, we love the profile. We love your videos that you're doing. The quality is excellent. And I've taken it to the next level. At home, I have special lights, I have a high-definition camera, I have a professional microphone. I'm not telling people out there you have to spend all this money, but I'm saying look at what's at your house. For example, your bandwidth may be low. Maybe you need to increase your bandwidth. Simple. The lighting doesn't cost much. And all these things will help you.
Yep.
So it's like as soon as it was shelter in place, okay, as soon as that happened, okay, I'm at home. And I'm like, all right, well, we are now in the Zoom world. Right? This is your life. Don't you want to have a good microphone, good lighting? I built a studio at my house. I literally went in and built a studio at my house. Now, I'm not saying everybody should do that, but your background, you need to have a solid place. Even if it's a corner, you just need a little corner in your house that looks nice, has a good appearance, you have good lighting, a good microphone, and it goes so far. It makes a huge difference.
What about TikTok? So I've seen doctors on TikTok, right? They're doing different things, or there's a dermatologist that's always looking at like weird things going on.
I think there's a medium for everything. Certain people will be on LinkedIn, some people will be on TikTok, some will be on Snapchat. And I think depending what your specialty is, like TikTok, I think it's good for certain specialties. For example, dentistry would be a good one because then kids see it, they're like, oh, you know what, maybe I should go to the dentist. Or PR stuff that needs to go out there, or COVID, some of those mediums. Going back to the digital, not to promote myself, but I did a free course on digital, and it's on my website. But basically, it's a whole free course on just what to do and set up your home, and it's all just free advice of what we just talked about.
See, I didn't even know that. Mic drop.
Yep.
Nice. So we need to go through that course. You need to go
It's
through
free.
that course. I've been trying to get him.
It's worth it.
I've been trying to get him.
Real quick.
It's
Click,
funny.
click, click.
Today I come into the office today.
I'm setting up lights.
He's trying to set it up.
Putting up LED lights, and I got my microphone arm.
I'm glad. I'm excited. But I've been poking him for a year and a half or whatever. I've been poking him. I'm like, come on, man, come on. But now he's doing it.
Yeah, I'm like a Gen X boomer.
That totally makes sense.
No, actually, what's funny is I was in technology sales before I came into this current position that I'm in with the financial services side. But yeah, I was in tech sales. So but I find that looking at what he's doing, I'm like, man, that's gonna take forever.
No, it doesn't. And here's a simple example. When we all shut down, I would be in the Chamber of Commerce, and I'd look at all the Zoom, and I would look at who had the best quality background, who had the clearest picture and voice, and those are the ones I gravitated unconsciously.
Yep.
And so, that's a quick marketing tip for yourself.
It'll help you stand out. So job seekers, you're out there right now, you're Zooming it, you're in these networking meetings and all that kind of stuff. Up your game just a little bit. And here's a quick tip for you. The cameras that we're being shot on in the studio right now, these aren't like, $100,000 cameras or something crazy like that. These are like $500 cameras that are in here. They're 4K, okay? I use a Canon M50 mirrorless. It's a
like $600.
$500. Nice. So, and that could be a lot to a job seeker who's going through, but I do want you to just put it into perspective. It's not astronomical to get a nice camera. That's your webcam.
Yep.
And you come in crystal clear like you're seeing the picture right now, and you get a nice little light background, you're good. So
awesome.
What about for you? You said that you've built 8?
Yeah, 8 emergency rooms.
8 emergency rooms.
That
So obviously you're hiring.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Well, I'm no longer with Trusted. We kind of moved on. But yeah, I mean, we grew so fast that at one point we had almost 400 employees.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. So you've obviously done some hiring, right?
Yes.
And you've also obviously done some interviewing. Like, what are some of the things that stand out to you that people have done? What have people done to differentiate themselves that maybe have resonated with you that you can remember?
You got to remember as an employer or finding a job, who's your audience? Is it someone that's in their 60s? If they are, they're going to want to make sure you're on time. They're going to make sure they're going to look at you up and down. They want to make sure they're old school. They want to make sure you bring in a big paper with your resume. But then again, if you're going to job for Google, they probably don't care for this. They want to look at your LinkedIn profile. They want to look at different things. So you want to see who your audience is. That's so important. The second is, I love when they look up the culture. Because if they come for a job and they don't know what the company's about or what the culture is, then it's kind of like game over. Because if the person comes and during the interview process, like, yeah, I love this about this job and I love this about the culture, and yes, I love the founders that created this principle, then I'm like, okay, this person's part of the culture. They already want to be part of us. And that's a huge win for me. Then the last part for me, I always look for out-of-the-box thinker. Someone that says, you know what, I don't have an education in XYZ, but this is what I've done, and this is how I stand out, and this is why. And I'm like, okay, this person has something, and I want to be with this person in our company.
I love what you're saying. You got to be clear about what you want, right? You got to be clear about what you want and have a clear focus. And I tell people all the time, we have something called $10 million mindset. Okay, I call it $10 million mindset because right now, job seekers it's unfortunate, but they have a broke mindset. Okay, it's scarcity, anyway. So if you had a $10 million mindset, you would be extremely picky about where you go work, right? You don't have to work, so you'd be picky. So what would you do? You'd do your research, like you were saying. You would go look up these companies. You would find out about the culture. You would, before you lift a finger to go work for somebody, if you had $10 million, you would want to know a lot about that company, right? You need to do that. You need to be selective. You need to be picky. You need to be asking the right questions. And that's what someone with $10 million would do.
Yeah. Well, I got to show you this. I do this at anyone I meet with or network. I have it in my wallet. I'm not promoting this company, but it's NFC technology. Basically, I tap it on my phone, and then it automatically brings up my profile. I put my picture on there.
Nice.
And then I scroll, and then you can add the contacts. But then the best part is the QR code is on here. So say they don't have the new phone, then they can use the QR code, and boom, it goes right into their phone.
Download contact info.
And so that's really good because a lot of people, when they meet me, they're like, man, that's cool. The other day I was at a function, and I met some high-end producer, and I didn't know who he was, but I could tell all these people around him, all these bodyguards and stuff. So he was like, man, I'm tired of giving my number out. And I give him this, and I showed him this card. And he's like, oh my God, this is great. Immediately, he has my phone number in his cell phone.
Yep.
And that's half the battle. Yeah. Just getting to know.
I like that. And you know what? I used to use a service similar. It was called Inigo. I think they've changed since then. And I was using it a lot. And then we went into, the COVID, and we had a less of a need. I like this though. We need to go back. I was just talking about this the other day. I'm like, we're getting to a point where things are opening up again, where there's a need for this, and be different. Don't have paper business cards.
Think outside the box. Be that different person, because now someone will be like, wait, I remember that guy with the card. Yeah, that was different. Boom. Now I made an impact. I made a relationship.
Yeah.
And you never leave home without it.
Had you handed them a business card,
throw it away.
Yeah,
and it's in your wallet. You never leave home without it.
Yeah.
Right? Like that is what I love about that. You have it.
You can save yourself some money too. Don't need a million business cards,
That's
just
right.
one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, success reinvention, from a career standpoint or even a job seeker standpoint, how is that correlated to?
You know, the book itself, basically, my story was literally when I grew up, was on food stamps, didn't know if the next meal was coming.
Me too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it really made me a stronger person today. That's my personal why. So I wrote the book mainly for other single parents out there. My mom raised me at age 15, and I think she did a great job. So I thought, you know what? I need to write a book, and it's going to be the blueprints of what she did with me. And so I wrote the book with that goal set. And I said, I got to live what I say. And so the reason I went back to school, I said, you know what? I've gotten to this point, and yes, most people would stop, but you know what? I'm going to keep going. So I went and got my MBA. And I told my kids, I go, your dad's going back to school so that when you're struggling, you're going to back and look at that and be like, dang, he had an MBA, he was a president of a company, yet he went back to school.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I mean, me and Mark are doing that right now.
That's awesome.
Hey, we're opening up some books because we got to take our business a little further. And, you know, sometimes... And it kind of stinks because I don't like books. And
I'll give you some tips. I'll give you some tips. Honestly, how to write it. I'll give you some really good tips, and you'll knock it out.
My problem is my boys are still so young that when I open that book, my head just starts going.
Yeah.
I do a lot of Audible books on the drive. That helps me a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the same way as him. You know, I'm not just a real big reader. And I know what's funny about that is you hear all these, you know, successful people, and they say, you know, Bill Gates, you know, reads 10 books before 2 a.m., you know, whatever. Like, something they all read. They're all book readers. And I'm just like, I'm just not a big book reader, or I just haven't prioritized it. It's all about priorities.
Actually,
right?
I got to give you this quick tip. It's called, I'm not promoting any company, but it's called Get Abstracts. It's basically an app. And if there's any book you want to read, you go on there, and it gives you an 8-page summary or Audible. And then if you read it, you're like, okay, this is good. I want the book. And so what I would do when I was purely a doctor, I didn't know how to negotiate. So I downloaded 8 different Get Abstracts on negotiation, read all of them, and then I went into a meeting. And I used all the bullets that were in there. And I felt like I went in strong.
Oh, and you just crushed it.
I did.
Dang, that is good. Okay, so we're going to... Tell me what that is.
GetAbstracts.com.
GetAbstracts.com.
Did you always want to be a doctor?
I've always
wanted to be a doctor.
I've always been this kind of crazy doctor. I've always wanted to be a doctor, but I've always wanted to do other stuff. So I started an iPhone app company. I started a vitamin company. I've done like I've started over 20 companies, but I've always been like wanting to do more. I just don't stay still.
Yeah.
So
you're like a medical entrepreneur. That's what you are. Medical entrepreneur.
Yeah. My first app was called IV-Meds, and it was a top 10 in the world when I opened that app. So it's kind of cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
That is really cool. When you said crazy doctor, I don't know why. I thought I immediately went to the doctor on The Simpsons. Hello, everybody. You know that one? Yeah. I don't know. I went there. I don't know where my. Hey, look. Anyway, it was pretty funny, but man, this has been good. This has been a great conversation.
So our audience is primarily job seekers, right? People that are entrepreneurs and all that. But what would be one piece of advice that you would give to them?
You know, one piece also is just be genuine. You know, a lot of times we work with people
on that.
And we see people come in and I'm like, oh my gosh, this person's lying. They're not real. I just like, just be real with me. I think that's huge. Because we're all human beings, and I think if that genuinity of yourself comes out, people are like, all right, this guy's real, or girl, whatever, I love it, and this is who they are. I don't want to hire someone else that says, oh, I'm being this, and then in reality they come to work for me, and then they become someone else.
Right.
Yeah. I want to hire who I'm hiring.
That's such great advice, because I'll tell you, I see it every day. These job seekers, they feel like they have to do it a certain way.
Put the mask on.
And it's me put the tie on, and I have to just, and look, you don't have to be so polished. Right? It's a matter of fact, our imperfections are what they're looking for. They want to see your imperfections.
Yes.
Because none of us are perfect. There's only one person I know is perfect, right? You know, that's Jesus, right? He was the only perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. You're not perfect. This show's not perfect. We mess up things all the time. We stumble over words. And so do you. When you go in your interview, it's okay. Yeah. But if you come off sounding scripted and rehearsed, and you've just memorized answers, you regurgitate stuff.
Like, ooh, that guy's too powerful. That girl's too powerful.
Exactly.
Like, you're just regurgitating something that you were memorizing at the house. Like, Stop. And they don't get an opportunity to see who you are as a person.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. I just read a book. I can't remember the name of it, but it basically talked about that, saying if you're too polished, if you're too perfect,
correct,
you're gonna mess up that interview. In fact, make sure you mess up. Make sure you bring a paper and pen. Make sure you ask for a pen. Make a mistake on purpose.
Correct.
Because if you're too perfect, that's gonna be a sign.
100%.
It's gonna be a flag.
It is.
I got somebody in mind, and he I will tell you, on stage, the guy commands the room. He's an amazing speaker, phenomenal speaker. He's super polished. Woo, super polished. But I've also, in other situations, I'm like, that is also, I feel like it's hurting him, because it's like in the one-to-one type conversations, he's still super, super, super polished. And I'm like, all right, you just need to bring that down in your one-to-ones, in your networking, and you're just conversational. You need to be just, on stage, okay, there's a time and a place to come out and really deliver and bring that smooth.
Yeah.
And he does it really, really good on stage.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, in person, when somebody's like that, it's like, it's either coming off shallow
or salesy,
or
salesy,
salesy,
or cocky, too cocky.
Yeah, just something you're like, eh.
Yeah, it's like when you go to the used car sales guy, and he's like, hey, and you're just like,
bring it down. Yeah,
calm down.
Yeah,
like, I just want to look at the Corolla. Come on.
That's true. One other quick tip I want to make sure people know. I know this is weird, and I'm 47 years old, and I'm going to put it out there.
All right.
I'm a very positive person, and I think it does make a difference. There's some research that the more positive you are, and I'm just going to put it out there, you got to put positiveness. Whatever you're interviewing, just be positive. Say, I'm going to make it. I'm going to get this job, and it'll make a difference in your demeanor and everything.
I love that. You got to speak it into existence.
Yes, you do.
And
just have that positive attitude,
yes.
that positive mentality, that positive persona.
So in the comments right now, I want you to say, yes, I can. Do it right now. Say, yes, I can. And I actually don't want you to just type it, okay? Because you can type it, but I want you to say it and then type it, all right? Because I want everybody to in agreement. Yes, I can.
Say it out loud.
Yes, I can. And you can. I promise you can do all things. All things. You can do all things. Not some things. Not these things. You can do all things. Yes, you can. Type it in the chat and say it out loud, all right? Guys, wow, what an amazing show. Man. Actually, hold on, whoa. Before we do that, I know it goes so fast. Before we do that, we got to make sure to give something away, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I know we want to give away a copy of your book, right?
Yeah.
So what's a question we can ask the audience real quick?
What is the name of the emergency room company that he built?
Tell me that. Tell me that. What's the name of the emergency company that he built? In the chat. We'll give it a few seconds in here while we're waiting.
And I'll personally sign it and make sure to mail it myself. I'll mail it myself.
There you go.
Thank you.
I think it's probably in his LinkedIn profile. The answer is probably in his LinkedIn profile.
And you guys will also have to bear with us when it comes to these live comments. I had somebody the other day, and they were like, hey, I won, right? But you gave it to somebody else. And I'm like, I'm going with what I see here live. When I see it come back, right?
Makes sense.
The comments aren't always like...
They're not always lined up. And they're like, but it was me. And I'm like, what you were seeing and what I was seeing was different. Anyway. But, okay, so we'll give some quick shout-outs. I see Sylvia. She says, yes, I can. I love that. Krista, good to see you. William, how are you? Hey, William, I want to tell you something. This one's for you. Yes, you can, William. Yes, you can. All right? I love you, brother. Seriously. I love you, and you can. You got this, man. I know it's been a rough journey for you, but you can. You got this. So keep your head up.
I haven't seen the answer come in yet.
I see Lori Oken, Paul Haggerty, good to see you. Andrea Waters, hello, good to see you. Shoni, she says, yes, I can. I don't see it either, but I feel like there's a delay here going on. So let me see. Hold on. Oh, there it is.
Oh, Constance?
Yep, I see Constance. Trusted Medical Centers.
That's right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Boom, 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 boom.
Congratulations, Constance. Woo! You just won yourself a copy of Success Reinvention by my man, Harvey Castro. In the house, man. Harvey, thank you so much for
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate
you
guys. Thank you.
Guys, that's the show. It's all about who ya know. Bye. Trevor Houston here, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Who You Know Job Networking Show. We hope you've been inspired, encouraged, educated, and entertained all at the same time. For information on our different events, workshops, partners, or partnership opportunities available, check out 𝐤𝐴𝐻𝑒𝑦𝑜 for more details. And be on the lookout for our new mobile app coming soon. You never know how this show could help someone you know? And if we've made an impact or put a smile on your face today, don't forget to hit that share button on your way out. Until next week, it's all about who you know. Bye!
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead. I ain't scared, I'm prepared. Big ideas inside my head. I'm gonna make them manifest. And I'm dressed for success. I left, right, order my steps. Network, I ain't gotta do it by myself. Who you know, show me who you know.